In this week's episode, we dig into 3 topics that we're hearing a lot of on the surface. And it is 1, managing setbacks, how to properly do so. 2, gauging expectations. What are your expectations of yourself, and are they in line with the work you're putting in? And how to use your family not as an excuse for your fitness, but a reason to get after it. So enjoy today's episode. Thank you as always. Have an awesome day. So our segue today is we're going to use posture as a correlate to get into managing setbacks. So can you explain the difference between what I'm doing and what you're doing right now?
Sitting up tall
So how often do you see this?
all the time, like every day of people's lives.
Far too often. So right now I'm slouched over. Not even slouched over. I wouldn't even say that. I'm just kind of looking at my phone the way people normally look at their phone. And I think today we're going to talk about managing setbacks, like establishing clean expectations, and how do you manage like the family dynamic, like with your fitness and with your health. And here we
those
are.
can definitely cause setbacks.
What's that? Yes,
Family.
Totally. But I think it starts with attitude,
Mm-hmm.
and we use posture as a correlate to kind of describe like what your attitude is. And if your posture is crap and your shoulders are rounded forward, it's really hard to feel super good about yourself. So you obviously feel amazing right now.
So good.
Like you've got some product in your hair.
Always.
Always
Come
product.
spray.
You've got
spray.
Yeah, product. Not only does he have product, I found out yesterday that Jeremy uses hairspray.
Absolutely.
As a
every
real
day.
thing.
That's a real thing. Yeah,
Wow.
and that's so that you don't get the flare outs.
I've known you a
know
while,
what I'm
and
saying?
that's
You never knew that.
I didn't want to know it.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I
just-
actually have
it
my
was-
own hairspray bottle.
It's one of those things that you just you hope is not true,
Yeah.
and then you find out it is, and it's just disappointing.
Hey, that's okay. I'm okay with that. That's no problem at all.
That's your biggest advice. We're doing okay.
Yep.
So we're talking
But
about
you can
setbacks.
see that. You can see that. So even like postural alignment, but also like your I don't want to say emotional state that goes along with your posture in a workout. So like I'll see somebody like do something. They're doing great in the workout, but they're just like bummed out or something. They don't feel. They may not necessarily feel bummed out, but I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, well, I'm doing okay. I'm like very convincing. People hear me say that, like, oh, that's very convincing.
So I have a thing, and our new intern today asked me. I asked him how he's doing. He says, I'm doing all right. He asked me how I'm doing, and I just I've started this. I probably started 10 years ago. I'm doing amazing. Maybe I got 2 hours of sleep last night. Maybe my life is falling apart. Whatever. I'm doing amazing.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I might not even believe it, but then I hear it, and I go, well, maybe I am doing amazing. Am I doing amazing? Sure. Why not?
Why am I not
So
doing amazing?
it's regardless of the setback that you have, it starts with your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever had a setback?
Oh my gosh, 100% have
Right.
setbacks.
So the other part is the mind frame that you have that you wrap around it. Well, are you going to use the setback to knock you down, or are you going to use it as a learning experience?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to use it as an opportunity to reset?
Yes.
Versus putting you back in a different direction. No, I'm just taking this and I'm.
Well, and I say this quite frequently, but you have to look at the why behind the feeling. Like you have to ask yourself, all right, when you're in a setback, why am I here? Okay. Now understand that it's a setback.
Probably my fault.
Probably my fault. Yep. And then what can you do to? All right. This is what I'm feeling right now. Why am I feeling like that? Is it an okay feeling? If not, let's change it. You have the power to change it,
Yeah.
right? You have the power to change it.
Correct.
And then make a change.
What's the Spider-Man quote? With great power,
Comes great responsibility.
right? And so then I've heard it flip the other way.
With
With great responsibility comes great power. Or with responsibility comes great power. So if you take
Yes.
responsibility
Right.
for something, you actually have the power to change it. So it's like the extreme.
That's an F.
It's,
Yeah.
It's the extreme ownership mentality. So if you have this setback, and instead of going, oh, and slouching the way we started this conversation, oh, this happened and yada yada yada. If you say, hey, I am responsible for why this happened,
Mm-hmm.
therefore I have the power to make a change.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then you move on from there.
Right.
Yeah. And have you ever taken one of those setbacks or something like that, and you're laying in bed and all you can think about is that one thing? Like you're like, crap. Like it almost stresses you out or something like that, and you're laying in bed and then your mind's racing all the time. You can't.
I've been there before.
Been there before.
It's been a while.
One thing I've been that I'll do if I find myself getting into that, I'll ask myself, is there anything I can do in this moment as I'm laying in my bed that's going to change the outcome of what what that is?
I'm going to squat while we're standing here.
Nice.
This is a squatting podcast.
That was very good.
Yeah, is there anything I can do about it right now?
Right now, is there anything that I can do about this right now? And if the answer is no,
probably, yeah.
Yeah, if the answer is no, then I'm like, well, I can't do anything about it now. I might as well just forget about it.
Go to sleep.
If there's something where I can like, okay, I have to get up and you should probably do this, then I'm going to have to get up and I should probably do that.
Right.
But if there's nothing that I can physically or, mentally do,
yeah,
don't let it bother you.
Yeah, to wrap up the setbacks, it's your attitude, and then it's what you can control. So
Yes.
basically what you're saying is like you have the stuff in your life that you can do something about. Great, go do something. There's other things like it's raining today.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? You're going to put on a rain jacket.
Yeah.
My favorite example is when somebody comes in and says, "It's cold outside," and I'll go, "Okay, what do you want me to do about that?"
Yeah. You are correct.
Yeah, that's correct. So it's like, irrelevant information.
Yeah.
Something that you can't control. It's raining, whatever it might be. If you are cold, ask for a jacket versus just telling me that it is cold. So setbacks, attitude, and then controlling what you can actually work on.
Well, yeah, controlling what you can work on, but also like starting.
Yeah.
You just got to go, because I know some people when they get into a setback, they're like, well, tomorrow never comes.
I like good now is better than great later.
Good now is better than great later.
Like,
oh heck yeah.
I'm gonna come in and I'm 60 pounds overweight. Whatever. I am 6 pounds overweight.
Doesn't even matter wherever you are.
You are not the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
But do something today. Drink a little bit more water. Come ride the bike for 15 minutes. Do something today. That is better than doing something exceptional. Tomorrow.
Or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Or nothing. What is the one quote from your niece? What?
Oh yeah. What was it? Something about the best time to start was the day after yesterday.
Yes.
Think about that for a second. That's from like that's from a 5-year-old. 5-year-old Emmy, and she's like, I was like, when are you doing this? She's like, it's the day after yesterday. I go, that's really smart.
You hang on to that.
Best time to start is the day after yesterday. So then, with expectations, I think some of us have, and just this morning we were showing some people who have been around for a couple of years, not even, maybe a year and a half, showing them pictures of them former selves. The problem is you see yourself every day.
Yeah, and you don't see the change.
You don't see the change.
No. You don't see it because you're looking at yourself in the mirror every day and incremental. So if you think about it, like you could look at it years or whatever, but if you can't see 0.3 of a pound come off of you every single day, and you don't notice it as it builds up, but if you saw that picture of all the 0.3s gathered up together, then you actually it looks like a chunk, right? Yeah. So you can't see yourself every day the way that you do when you see a picture.
So how do you manage expectations? So that's kind of our second point. So we got setbacks, handling that, and then managing expectations.
Expectations and setting realistic ones. So like when you come in, you can't look at someone else's expectations as your own expectations. You have to look at them as, okay, where was I at? And remember where you came from.
Be honest about it.
Yeah. Jenny from the block.
Yeah.
Right?
Remember who you are.
Remember where you came from, because if you don't remember, like a lot of times people will be like, man, I don't understand why I can't get that. Do you realize that you could not squat like
below parallel?
Below parallel or with an empty bar on your back when you first got here, and now you're
pull up
135 pounds on a back.
Run a mile without stopping.
Yeah, but we forget that because we're in it every single day. So sometimes it's just a quick reminder, like, oh man, I couldn't even whatever it was, and now I'm doing X, times 10 of what that first part was because of progress.
And the catch-22 is you're surrounded by all these people who are doing exceptional things, so you think that that's normal. If you take a step outside these walls, like that's really not normal. Those are people doing some exceptional things. So it's great to be pulled along with that, but it's also like you can't compare yourself to everybody's social media feed because that's not really real.
No.
It's like them in their best
moment. That's their best moment,
yeah. Yeah, so you can't compare yourself to other people. You've got to look in the rearview mirror and kind of see where you've been as that relates to where you are today.
Yeah, and if you haven't, like, we've talked about goal setting in the past, like go listen to one of those podcasts on like goal setting, but like being realistic about it and saying, all right, hey, I want to reach this in 2 months. It can't be Mount Everest in 2 months.
Yeah, unless you're willing to give up alcohol, unless you're willing to sleep a whole bunch more, find a way to de-stress. Like how many boxes are you willing to check?
Oh yeah.
And that is going to have a direct relationship to how quickly you get the results.
Mm-hmm.
If you're only willing to check a couple of boxes, you've talked about it before, like manage your expectations accordingly.
Yeah.
If you're one of our high school kids and you got 3 months to put on a bunch of weight, we need to get real. Like you don't have time.
Yeah.
But you're the rest of us. You maybe have a longer horizon.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to take that time and do everything in it right, and
shrink it
with full bore ahead, and you'd be like, fine, you tell me to do this, this, and this, I will do it. Then you're going to see some change. Like
quickly.
We've seen some people in here who have been like, I'll ask them, they've lost all right, since the beginning of the year, I've lost 30 pounds. Well, how did you do that? I just listened to everything you said.
I talked to the guy this morning. We won't name his name. It starts with a D.
Yeah.
And he's just like killing it.
Yeah. And
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I was just doing what Jeremy's telling me. Oh, what? Like, yeah, it can work.
It can work, but you have to do it. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah, same thing with manage the setback. You have to come in and do something versus nothing. If you want something, then you have to do the steps that are laid out.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're not willing to, then you have to
change your expectations.
Yeah.
And then, so in our last bit, so setbacks, expectations, family. So I think we could call family setbacks because that's what we are. We love them, but they are a setback in our life. As much as they set us back, they move us forward in love and all these other amazing things. But they do hinder our ability to be healthy.
Yes,
so
very much so.
How do we manage that? You're in the thick of it right now.
Yeah. So
how do you manage it?
Yeah, for myself, I have to find a time. Like, make an excuse. I have to make an excuse to work out, right? Because I know it makes me a better person. I know it makes me feel better, sleep better. My mental state is a lot better, and with that, I become, I'm just a better dad. Is that because I really value fitness, and if I don't get my workout in today, then I'm thinking about that while I'm watching them? Yeah, which is probably a little bit of a double-edged sword, right? But I want to be, more than I want to be super fit right now, I want to be a dad in the future that can keep up with the boys, right? And I've already seen it, that it's setting an expectation or like a baseline for them, as in working out every day is normal.
You got a body. You got one body.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I think about it like, did your dad ever go to the gym and work out?
He was a biker.
He was a biker.
And he worked construction, so he was working.
Yeah, like my dad was a roofer. That was a workout and a half. But like the thought of, he never went to the gym. He did biking too. Yeah. That's that construction and biking.
Yeah.
And probably But anyways,
your arms are toasted.
Yeah.
From swinging a hammer and carrying stuff. So.
But I mean, I don't think like none of my other family members ever went to the gym. So I didn't grow up thinking like, oh, yeah, let's actually going to the gym is a good thing. Whereas now my kids have an expectation like going to the gym is a normal daily life activity. Yeah. So like if they're brought up in that, then they're just always going to think, all right, exercise is healthy, and that sets a precedence for them.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't treat it as something like that, then my kids are going to be like, well, I don't need to work out.
Right. So I think the family you can use them as an excuse, but you also have a responsibility to them to set an example.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm doing a little something every day to take care of my body, and that's kind of an example that I'm setting for you that you should be doing the same thing. So.
And it doesn't have to be, the biggest thing I want to say is it doesn't have to be an hour long.
No.
Like,
could be 5 minutes.
If you are on your way, say you're on your way home from work and you pass the gym, and it's like, shoot, class started at 4 o'clock. It's 4:27. I only have 15 minutes before I have to get home. I can give you a lot to do.
5 minutes?
In 5 minutes.
Sure.
That'll make you just fine. I don't care if you're in your
what are they called, slacks?
Slacks and a dress shirt.
Yeah.
Come in and I will give you something to do that'll make you feel fantastic for the rest of the day.
Right.
Right.
That little boost.
Stop in. Right, and it'll be worth your time.
Yeah. So then, where else can you mix it in? We hear people doing push-ups in the morning. You can roll out of bed, do 30 push-ups.
Yeah.
That's good for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Better than nothing. You do that over the course of the year. Do the quick math. That's thousands of push-ups. What's the math on that?
I have no idea.
Quick math. 30 times 365. We'll get
We should use him for. We should use him for like fact checking.
Fact checking. Yeah.
And like
that is
stats.
completely wrong. Retract that statement. We'll just edit it out, or give us a new fake statistic. So anyway, bottom line is let's not use our families as an excuse, but let's use our families as a reason.
I was just gonna say, use them as an excuse.
Yeah.
Use them as an excuse to work out. What's the answer, Charlie?
It's 10,000
That's 10,000 push-ups if you roll out of bed and do 30 push-ups a day.
That's it.
It.
You can say in a year I did 10,000 push-ups last year.
That will move the needle.
That's kind of cool to think
That will
about.
put muscle on. That will
Yeah.
your posture will improve. I mean,
Plus, you did 10,000 push-ups in a year. That's kind of fun to say.
that is really nice to say. So
Yeah.
so you're gonna have setbacks. Deal with it. It's your attitude.
Acknowledge it and then fix it and move on.
Figure out what you're gonna have. 2 buckets. One bucket's gonna be a bunch of stuff you can't do anything about. Why even worry about that stuff? And you got another bucket of stuff you can do. Go to work on doing it. Your expectations are directly correlated to the amount of work that you're willing to put in. If it's a high amount of work, let's set a high bar. If it's a decent amount of work, I'm not even going to talk about low. If it's a decent amount of work, let's maybe extend the window a little bit and be a little bit more objective about where we're going to get to. And then your family, man, they need you.
Mm-hmm.
And like whether you're, a 20-something, and you're or a 30-something, and you got kids, or 40-something, your kids are getting older, I could make an argument for every single one of those ages. Like you have to do not be the person that other people have to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be the what do you call it? The least or the weakest link. You want to be the strong, capable, be able to take everybody, whether you're a mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever it is. So, I think it's not an excuse. It's more of a responsibility to get out of bed, do 30 push-ups, come to the gym if you can, and keep the ball rolling forward.
Stop in when we're open, even if it's not during class time.
Yeah.
Show up.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, so that's our thoughts. I don't know if there's any grandiose or original new idea there, but a lot of it just comes down to the mindset and putting in the work.
Yeah. I'd say one more thing to add. If you need help, ask for it.
Yeah.
That was what you said about the Seal Fit thing.
It's really hard to do it on your own.
Yeah. If you need help, ask. If you need an accountability partner, ask.
Yeah.
Like, no one out there is feeling something that you've never felt. You're not feeling anything that no one else ever felt. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
however you say
somebody
that.
else has had that problem before.
Oh, probably 100. Yeah. Oh, multiple times. And yes, John and I have probably had that problem before.
Probably.
Yeah. So if you can't be looking at us and being like, John and Jeremy they've never had that problem for fitness.
Dealing with all kinds of
You should probably
problems.
ask us. Yeah.
So anyway, guys, thank you for hearing us out a little bit this week and continue to bring it. We'll talk to you guys next week.